Welcome, M. Solomon here. Mortgage algorithms discovered in file. Used for constructing a secondary file's value by manipulation of dates into values and backdating. Welcome aboard. Let's get started. Hi, M. Solomon here, accountant, auditor, specializing in banking related controversy and mortgage defenses. We're not your everyday auditor, and what we are looking for, we're not really taking sides. We're just looking for any kind of manipulation that's taking place by way of numbers, dates, backdating, algorithms, artificial intelligence. We have come to the conclusion that these loans that we've looked at in foreclosure are infested with algorithms, and that these foreclosures are following a tracking system. It's a very elaborate, sophisticated tracking system, but one that can be cracked, and with a little bit of God's help and a hell of a lot of time invested, we've been able to crack them. I'm going to go back into a case we've looked at a couple of times. I'm going to try and break it down in pieces and segments, and then revisit these findings, the discovery. And of course, this is something that would indicate that there is a fraud from the commencement, from the very start. That means from the beginning of the loan, from the time of the loan's commencement to the date of the default, all the way through the foreclosure sale. This was programmed. It was a programmed foreclosure, which is in essence something that would fit right in line with a reverse purchase and sale. We're arguing foreclosures, and they're doing a sale leaseback is what my take on this is. But let's take a look at this. For example, in one case, we have a file number that was appeared at the time of the foreclosure filing. It's the attorney's file number. It's file number 53174. And we have the borrower's date of birth, which we fell into. The borrower's date of birth. And by the way, every date has a corresponding number attached to it. So where I'm talking about a date, you're looking at a number. I'm going to show you how we make that conversion. It's already been done for you here, but every numeric expression has a corresponding date. Every date has a corresponding numeric expression, not only in Excel, but in any kind of a financial platform that is being used by a servicer, bank, investment bank, whomever, 11th grade student doing his algebra homework on Excel. It doesn't matter. These dates and numeric expressions or numbers are interchangeable. So if you take the file number and you offset it by the borrower birth date, you get 31678.98. That equates to 7/31/45 and 11/6/1958. The difference is your margin. If you take that margin, 3167898, and we adjust it by 26.83, and there's a reason why, 26.83, we get 31705.81. 3167898 equals 9/23/1986, and adjusting it took us to 10/20/86, one and the same, you see. Now, if you take the installment or the date 10/20/86 and you add it to the note face value, you get the current balance, which is in foreclosure. The SPS stated balance on statements is 618,005.81. So you see that we have the file number offset by the date of birth, which gives us a margin or number of days, which is actually a date. And that number of days is adjusted by 26.83, which appears to be a per diem for a separate third-party loan. And when that's added to that margin, it gives us 10/20/86. That'd be 1 year preceding the stock market crash of 10/19/87. I remember that very well. And to verify our findings, 31705.81 capitalized by a cap rate, which I'm not showing here, but added to the note amount or subtracted from the SPS balance equals the note amount. So the installment, I'm calling it an installment, added to the note amount equals per the penny or mark to market the SPS balance. Now, what you don't see here is the one more interesting finding And that is that this number here, which was the margin, that is the number of days, and that number of days takes you, as you can see from here, see, the number of days takes you from the file number, which is 7/31/45, all the way back to 11/6/58. Don't confuse this. They gave us the file number. We entered the borrower birth date, and that gave us a margin. And that margin from there to there equals the date 7/31/45 and 11/6/58 borrower birth date. So that difference is the number of days for the consumer's estimated life or date of mortality. It's an annuity or it's an insurance policy estimating the date of death. And that's where we took this number and offset it by this number by adding 26.83. That gave us 10/20/86. And that was something we backed into because 618, the SPS balance less the note amount, matches the number 10/20/86. So what that indicates is the entire estimated life of the consumer. That appears to be the per diem, or the amount weighted average for what the value of the person's death, the decedent's value of a policy would be, or what the value of her annuity would be upon turning age 61, 62. And I believe that birth date right there would be triggering this year the retirement benefits under Social Security. So you got a lot going here, but there's more to follow, more that I want to share with you. We're going to stay with this same case. I'm going to be right back. And here's the recap. Here's the summary. We're going to take the margin, which we now have identified as the number of days that person will walk the face of the earth according to an annuitant or according to a life insurer. 31,678, and the 2683 was the difference between that and the margin from the other page, which added to the note amount gave us the outstanding principal balance that was on the statement, the servicer statement, SPS. So the number of days, let's treat it for what it is. The number of days from womb to tomb and the factor money rate, 26.83, multiplied. And remember that 2683 is how we got the 10/20/86. Remember? So the 2683 times the 31,678, which was the product of the file number 53174 less the borrower birth date. When we multiply these two, we get 849,971.55. 849,971.55. And the best part about that is if we take this number and add back the margin, as you would in an installment sale, where according to the IRS, one payment remains after the year of sale or disposition. If I add the one payment back in, it gives me a total of 881,655.3. On 9/7/2019, the foreclosing parties, SPS and the attorneys Rosenberg and Associates, issued a demand for payoff, and the demand for payoff was 881,650.53. So the demand was made up of this number right here, the number of days the borrower would be alive, the margin between the two womb and tomb, I call it, 2683, which is your money factor. That multiplied out gave us the 849 plus that amount, one more extra payment, 1 year annualized payment. That gave us the exact amount marked to market, 881,650.53. So we conclude, are you a mortgagor who is a victim of a concealed algorithm? Now you might have a better idea of what I mean when I say they set the day of default the day you signed. These loans are backdated to your date of birth. They're backdated and drawn forward to a known event, such as a stock market crash or 9/11. And they convert these dates to value. You've seen how the dates are converted to value, values converted to date. That's using the Y2K technology to leverage your foreclosure. A borrower in default has little, if any, defense if you cannot bring your loan current, and most people can't. That's why these foreclosures drag out so long. However, if a borrower was sold a contrived or electronic manipulated loan using algorithms that fake a foreclosure, that's a fraud. And it's a fraud from the commencement, meaning you never had a chance. So what we're looking for, if you want to submit it, free look, no charge for a free look. Find your HUD one, find your note, find the deed, or mortgage. Most important, find your servicing statement if you can get that, or if you ever had a payoff demand. Those are the two most important, a servicing statement or a payoff demand. Let us take a look at it. You can send them email attached to secondary trade desk, secondary, like the secondary market, trade desk, secondary trade desk at gmail.com. And you can reach me at 202-550-8364. We're looking for algorithms, and we're trying to find out if you were the victim of a concealed algorithm and some kind of a secondary market valuation strategy, which means you were worth more in foreclosure or dead. You're worth more in foreclosure or dead based on the annuity and the life insurance policy than you were staying in the home. So, M. Solomon, thank you for listening, and we hope to hear from you. Secondary trade desk at gmail.com, 202-550-8364.